Yes, the entirety of the world has picked up. Like when I mean the entirety of the world, like this is the BBC covering it. This is not anymore some niche marketing or SEO magazine talking about Google being bananas. This is welcome to another episode of the State of Search with your host Alex Mayhans. Today the veil has been lifted, and for those that didn't want to see, they'll be forced to see. Why do I mean a leak of nothing else but the components of the Google search ranking algorithm. When I say components, I literally mean the components, because the algorithm in and of itself, with all the weights, the classifiers, the interrelationship between everything, and how it all comes out to then spit out the kind of garbage results that we're seeing lately on Google search, that has not been revealed. Now, this has not been confirmed nor denied by Does Google, but so far every ex-Googler that has been asked has said, yeah, this very much looks like Google documentation. Okay, so what I'm going to give you in this video is the TLDR of every single reputable SEO's interpretation on the subject and the actual piece of news. I'll cover briefly what it is that happened for like a couple of minutes, so that if you are a busy human being that has better things to do than go and read Google patents all day, and you just want to get back to the basics that work based on the fundamentals that have been known to work for a very long time for the SEOs that actually put in the work and rank websites and test things. Hopefully this video will give you the TLDR so you can get the single most important takeaways, some of the context behind those takeaways, so you actually understand what's going on, that you can make sense out of it and not just follow it blindly, and continue doing great SEO. If you want to spend hours, I've linked to every single source that I've gone through, and I've spent the last God knows how many hours, more than I suggest any human being that wants to have a happy life to do through, and you can do that at your own tempo. And the notes for this show will be in a link in the description box under a lead gen little thingy that's free, where you enter your email and then I send you this thing. So let's have a look into what has happened. Let's jump right in. So first off, this is the article from Mike King. The guy, bless his soul, spent the entire weekend going through the leak. The GitHub and Hexdocs are the actual leak. The main thing is that we don't know the weight of these things. We know the ingredients, we know the components, we don't know how many of them are deprecated, we know how many of them are, if this thing is not available, then use this other thing, kind of thing, as fallbacks. But we do know that they are part of the picture. 14,000 ranking features and almost 2,600 modules, which means when anyone oversimplifies SEO and they says there's like 200 plus ranking factors, a few more, and I understand the difference between an attribute and a factor. Please don't go in the comments and try to be smart, okay? But they summarize themselves into a bit more than 200 factors. Now, if someone says to you that PageRank doesn't exist anymore and that's an old deprecated concept, you can go and point them here, which is an analysis that basically within the documentation, if you want to go to the 14,000 lines of code, not only there is PageRank, there's 7 different types of PageRank. So if you're ever in an SEO conversation with an agency or provider or whatever, and tell you the PageRank doesn't exist, you say, "Oh, thank you very much," and just hang up the call and just leave, because why would you continue entertaining that insanity? This analysis from Andrew Ansley, as we are going through a major time of chaos for Google, where the entirety of the world has noticed that their latest feature called AI Overviews, which, if you missed the last few episodes, is basically when Google paid $60 million to Reddit to use their user data, which we all, people that like to think well of companies, thought, oh, well, okay, they'll use all the engagement data to further train the model, because we knew that Google uses the engagement data from Chrome, even though they've denied multiple times. It has now, on this leak, been revealed that it's true. We knew that Google uses that data, so we thought, therefore, they would use the same kind of navigational and click data and user engagement on certain answers as part to feed the AI model. What we weren't expecting is for Google to copy paste Reddit and slap it as an AI overview, okay? Yes, the entirety of the world has picked up. Like when I mean the entirety of the world, like this is the BBC covering it. This is not anymore some niche marketing or SEO magazine talking about Google being bananas. This is the BBC picking up on the entire house fresh thing that I've covered in multiple of my videos before. This is some of the biggest size debacle poo-poos that Google has done with AI overviews. This is the AI overview in which Google suggested users to just put glue on pizza, which was literally a comment from a user with a funky name from 10 years ago, and then just Google vomited out. I want to make a segue here, and it's to talk about what I'm seeing right now on this AI arms race. Fundamentally, everyone that I speak with, and I have a lot of friends and contacts through the many years on the digital marketing industry that work for big technology companies, okay? Either executive positions or in development teams, in generative AI teams, customer success teams, all these different places. And they all say the same. AI is being force-fed into every single feature of every single product by every single big tech company there is in the planet, because we must, right? We have to put it because nobody wants to be left behind, nobody wants to be last. Let's see what else can AI do. And it's just so embarrassing. It's just so embarrassing that this was pushed that way. And the general public is picking up with this, right? Now, whenever there is catastrophe, there's opportunity, okay? So, couple of things. If AI is being pushed to everything, right, a lot more people with integrity that don't like this are quitting certain positions when they don't agree with that. So those people will go somewhere and they'll build something, okay? Those people will be replaced with people without integrity that don't care if force feeding AI into something like AI overviews is going to produce results that are potentially harmful, right? It's not toxic, but yeah, but you're still eating glue, right? You know what I'm saying? What will happen is more of these places, like I said, will lose great talent that will go and build something cool, and they will be replaced by more crap, and then the quality of such products will inevitably deteriorate, which will create opportunities for people that actually stick to the guns of building something really good that is people first. So that's my reading, and that's the segue. Let's go back to Mr. King's article here. He covers a lot of things about how search works. Covers some of the largest lies that Google has pushed for a very long time. Like there is anything like domain authority. Well, obviously they don't gonna use Moses metric, domain authority, right? As he says here, but he says we don't really have an overall domain authority, whatever. Okay, now read this article. Okay, read this line here and then read this. So this gentleman who melted Google's world quotes this interaction from a very long time ago, where the same gentleman, just in case that didn't know, that it is, said, "Don't ask me anything that is a yes or no question, because if then it turns out that I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Then I have to go and clarify my no, but then somebody's already written a clickbait article where it says that I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I need to give you something that's usable that doesn't cause our world to melt. And by our world doesn't mean the planet Earth, he means Google. Okay, so whenever anyone that speaks in behalf of Google says anything in regards to SEO, they can't say anything that does Google any harm. Meaning they can't say anything that is actually part of the algorithm, because then other search engines could use that too, because then SEOs would know how to do their job, because then they will probably break NDAs. So that will cause their individual and company-wide worlds to melt. If you wonder who this gentleman, Mr. Azimi, is, he happens to be the good fella who contacted Rand Fishkin and fed him the entire leak. A lot of the big claims are here. You can go to these articles. They're very lengthy. I don't want to show the entire article in the video out of respect for the people that actually did write the content. We didn't use clicks for rankings. A lie. Okay, this is from the antitrust trial, which I've linked Where? Here. Okay. And you can read this entire thing. Get sexy from page 8 onwards. Okay, from here's when it really starts. Okay, and page 40 onwards gets really sexy. Can we trust it? Okay, this is what I meant earlier. Okay, most ex-Googlers don't have anything to say against it. Okay, you know, dwell time, CTR, whatever Fishkin's new theory is, those are generally made up crap. So I think Mr. Ilse owes Mr. Fishkin an apology. I think that's a good start. Can we trust them? The answer is no. Okay, so let's see what you can trust. This is the takeaways for busy humans who just want to know how to rank and don't like algorithms ruling their lives. Number 1, stop listening to whatever Google says about SEO. Point blank, period, end, finish. Okay, either through Gary Ilse, through John Mueller, through search engine, blah blah blah, whatever. There's multiple search engines, blah blah blah, magazines. Most of them, they just get whatever Google tells them to say and they say it back. Okay, none of that matters. None of that works. Okay, read what Google told the Department of Justice. Read this. If you're gonna read anything, read this, and then go and read what Google has said probably for the longest time. And the dissonance is so absolutely insane that it will tell you very clearly who of the two of you has Google been lying to. Pretty sure it's the ones that they don't have to do it under oath. Okay, now how do you do SEO moving forward? Good news, there's no changes. You can stop watching this video. Okay, I know I could have told you that at the beginning and not 15 minutes in, but there's no changes really, because everything that's been revealed, whoever has seriously been doing SEO for a long time knows. Now there is little things that were interesting, and I want to cover what those main little things are. They check at everything that you do when you're logged in as a user on Google Chrome. When you have a behavior that looks like a human between the time and the distance of your clicks and all these different things, right? Logged users are more trustable than non-logged users. Build a very good, clean website. What does very good, clean website mean? Fast, all the information that has to be there is there and nothing else. The navigation is amazing. The content is amazing. The links within the content are very clear, very obvious, very clickable, and linked to things that should be linked to and not whatever your SEO told you they need to link, particularly if you're SEO, the nice PageRank. The links that you get to your content from other sites, make sure that they live in strong websites, that they themselves get traffic, because pages without traffic get demoted. Pages that aren't fresh get demoted. They even get buried in some like hard drive in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so fresh content gets boosted. We've known that for a long time. Freshness factor. Fresh content gets boosted. Fresh links within fresh content get boosted more, aka guest posts are very good. Guest posts that have your brand name, which then Google will see as they index the page and they see the brand name, which alongside with branded queries, which is the whole section here about the brand. Okay, but then people go and click and that link goes to the homepage, and then from the homepage, we were saying a good clean website. On the homepage is a very clear value statement of what you're going to get on this website. I can click here, here, or there and go and do different things depending on what it is that you do on your site, or I can click on the navigation, and the navigation perfectly represents the cascading order of the ontologies that you cover on your site. In English, if you talk about cars and then you have Mercedes-Benz and then you have S-Class, okay, that's the order of factors. That's an ontology, on proper ontological order. So when your site gets presented in the way that Google knows that the information should be presented, because they have already scanned pretty much, you know, an insane amount of the internet, so they already know the relationship between ideas and entities, which is aka semantics, topical authority, etc., then your site is good, clean, and that's the job. If you want to see typical issues on sites, whether it's e-commerce, content sites, service businesses, whatever, I've done a lot of site audits that I continuously publish here, thanks to the very generous site owners that let me do that. And so you can go and see me dissect in absolute insane depth multiple different sites, and you will learn in this hour of me actually looking at the site the kind of stuff that other SEOs put in their paywalled communities. Nothing against that. I'm just saying you can just watch it for free here instead of paying a few $100 a month to see that kind of content. Then you can go and just watch it. Okay. Like I said, very comprehensive and ontological orders. Make your articles, so the navigation within the document. You have the site navigation and then the document navigation. Okay, super stupid easy to navigate, aka tables of contents. In the table of contents, you need to have all the main sections labeled as what the content does. Well designed sites with intuitive architecture, you can optimize for nav boost. Nav boost is mentioned here. Embeddings are used on a page-by-page basis and a site-wide basis. We must make our headings optimize around queries and make the paragraphs under the headings answer those queries clearly and succinctly, aka how you optimize a heading and paragraph answer in an NLP format to get snippets. This has been discussed ad eternum in the SEO community for the longest freaking time. That's what ad eternum means. And it's just the truth. Also, your headings need to be in the order the headings need to be nested on, and so then I have a table of contents that gives me an index of the article. Beautiful. We can go back to the core idea here. Then keep your silos clean. So this talks about content borders. In the algo leak, we see that site focus, site radius, site embeddings, and page embeddings are used for ranking. In English, what is your site about? Are you covering that very well? And is that covered in depth? And are you talking about also this thing here? Simple. Okay, this has been talked about mostly by Corey from Holistic SEO for the longest time as well, and for anyone that has been following Google Patents and has been testing clusters and silos of content in depth, they will know that it works. Okay, so keep publishing within your very subjects, don't get off track. That pertains to this idea here. Okay, authorship, because of the same ideas, the entity who published this thing, also publish it when, who published this thing, and then how many mentions of that who and the brand are out there. And this is why guest posts and those kind of things where you can get your brand name posted are important, which then is gonna leak into this next idea. Continue acquiring links from fresh pages, because we just talked about that, and the guy here covers the same here. According to Freshdocs, which is a link value multiplier, links from newer pages are better than older ones. Okay, nothing we didn't know already. Okay, domains with loads of traffic. Why? Because they will publish the content, some of the traffic will trickle into the content and will click on the links, which has more value than getting a link that doesn't get any clicks. Everything else being equal, mind you. Okay, then user behavior, satisfy the intent ASAP. Yes. And then in terms of the brand, which is the single most important thing, right? Branded searches tell Google that the brand exists and the brand matters. Okay, so run ads, even if it's a very small scale, run some ads, or capitalize on whatever viral trends there are at the moment, so people see and go and Google your brand name in Google search, and run ads on other platforms, so then you get more search volume for your brand name. Okay, then get links. I'm not going to repeat myself. Get social media traffic if you can to the site, because if the social media traffic comes from browsers where the user is logged in, you get more legitimate traffic, and that feeds the algorithm. And then build a list, because most people use some Gmail address of some sort, which then you send them an email and they tap, and then they go in Chrome to go and open that. So fundamentally, what any decent SEO has been saying for a very, very long time is just now come to the light. So the TLDR of all of this is keep doing the good stuff, publishing content that helps your ideal client, serve that content very well on a good, fast website that's very easy to navigate, build links to such content, either directly to the homepage, which is the most effective way, efficient way, or to the inner page, if that makes sense. Don't do crazy crap, and spend a sufficient amount of time building the brand entity, which is going to create all the trust. So this was Alex Myhans covering the Google Algo leak in the 80/20 for busy business people that don't have the time to waste a whole afternoon going through some algorithm and their intricacies. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, things that you would have liked included, things that you like, you dislike, drop them below. Thank you very much, and God bless.